The last thing they told their family was, "I found work." That call was supposed to be the beginning. It became the end. This story isn't about crime. It's about trust, and how that trust was quietly turned into a weapon.
¡Arriba el señor de los gallos! ¡Arriba, señor Pancho! ¡Arriba, señor Mencho! ¡Arriba, señor Mencho! ¡Arriba, señor de los gallos! ¡Pura Grupo Lee! ¡Pura Grupo Lee!
Before the story became a tragedy, it was just a normal life. A quiet life. The kind most people live and never think will end in darkness. The victim was not a criminal. They were not dangerous. They were not looking for trouble. They were someone's child, someone's sibling, someone who woke up every morning carrying hope, even when life made that difficult. They lived in a place where jobs were scarce, where money never seemed to stretch far enough, and where dreams often had to wait. They wanted something simple, to work, to earn, to help their family, maybe to save enough to move forward one day. People who knew them described them as calm, respectful, and determined. The kind of person who believed that hard work would eventually be rewarded. But life has pressure points. And when those pressures build up, people become vulnerable without realizing it. Bills piled up. Opportunities disappeared. Every day felt heavier than the last. And still, they kept trying. That's the part many people forget. Desperation doesn't always look reckless. Sometimes it looks responsible. Sometimes it looks like someone trying their best. They spent time online, like so many people do now. Scrolling, searching, hoping. And that's where the lie first appeared. An opportunity. A job offer. Nothing illegal. Nothing suspicious on the surface. Just work. Good pay. A chance to finally breathe. At first, it felt like luck had finally arrived. Like the universe had opened a door after years of silence. They talked about it with family. They shared cautious excitement. There were doubts, yes, but hope can be louder than fear. No one could see what was waiting on the other side of that door. And that's the cruelest part of this story. Nothing about the beginning looked like the end. It didn't begin with fear. It began with a message. Like so many people trying to survive, the victims spent long nights on their phone, scrolling quietly, searching for work, looking for something, anything that could lift the weight they were carrying. And one day, between normal posts and everyday ads, something appeared. A job offer. Not dramatic. Not suspicious. Just simple words on a screen. Work available. Good pay. No experience needed. Sometimes it came as a public ad. Other times, it arrived as a private message. In some cases, it was shared through a group chat by someone saying, "This could help you." It didn't feel dangerous. It felt like hope. When the victim replied, the response came quickly. Calm. Polite. Friendly. The person on the other side didn't sound like a criminal. They sounded like someone offering help. They asked basic questions. Age. Availability. Willingness to work. They listened. They reassured. They never rushed the conversation. And that's how trust started to grow, quietly, over time. The job was described as honest labor, security work, farm work, construction, driving. Nothing illegal. Nothing that raised alarms. The recruiter spoke in a way that made everything feel normal, safe, almost boring. Whenever doubt appeared, it was gently pushed aside. Take your time. I understand your situation. We all start somewhere. Those words mattered. Because desperation doesn't need pressure, it needs understanding. And the recruiter knew exactly how to provide it. Over days, sometimes weeks, the messages continued. They became familiar. Friendly. The recruiter no longer felt like a stranger. They felt like a bridge to a better life. Then came the small instructions. Don't tell too many people yet. Too many applicants. We'll explain everything when you arrive. Nothing about it felt wrong at the time. In fact, it felt professional, responsible. But that secrecy was part of the trap. Behind those messages was an organized system connected to the cartel Jalisco Nueva Generation, a system that understands something terrifyingly well. People don't walk into danger when they're afraid. They walk into it when they believe they've been given a chance. When travel was finally mentioned, the victim hesitated. Not because they sensed danger, but because leaving meant uncertainty. But turning it down felt worse. It felt like giving up on their family, on themselves. So they said yes. They packed lightly. They promised to call. They believed the messages. And the moment they left familiar roads, everything changed. The phone that once brought hope went silent. Messages stopped. Calls failed. Accounts disappeared. The offer was never real. And the trap had already closed. At first, the family thought it was a technical problem. No signal. A dead phone. These things happen. Hours passed. Then a day. Then another. Calls went straight to voicemail. Messages stayed unread. Panic slowly replaced hope. The kind of panic that creeps in quietly before exploding into dread. Family members contacted friends. No one had heard anything. The recruiter's number stopped responding. Social media accounts vanished. It felt like the victim had fallen off the world. This is the moment many families describe as the worst: not knowing, not understanding, not being able to help. They went to authorities. They filed reports. They waited, and waited, and waited. But answers don't come easily in cases like this. Behind the scenes, the victim had entered a system designed to erase choice. A system run by the cartel Jalisco Nueva Generation, where recruitment often begins with lies and ends with captivity. Inside, fear replaces identity. Obedience replaces freedom. Leaving is not discussed, because leaving is not allowed. Many never come back. The truth didn't come all at once. It came in fragments. Through survivors. Through patterns. Through whispers. Others had vanished the same way. Same job offers. Same silence. Same heartbreak. Some survivors spoke of isolation. Of being broken down mentally. Of being told their old life was gone. That their family had forgotten them. That resistance was pointless. Not everyone survived. And not everyone who survived escaped. The family eventually understood what had happened, not because they were told, but because the evidence became impossible to ignore. There was no rescue, no justice, just confirmation of loss. And with that confirmation came grief, deep, permanent, and unresolved. This story is not rare. That's why it matters. The victim didn't disappear because they were careless. They disappeared because someone knew exactly how to exploit hope. This is how recruitment works, not through force at first, but through trust, through promises, through lies that sound like opportunity. Families are left behind with questions that never get answers. Communities grow quieter. Fear spreads. Telling this story is not about shock. It's about warning. It's about protecting the next person scrolling through their phone, hoping for a way out. If this story makes someone pause before accepting an offer that feels too perfect, then it matters. Because behind every disappearance is a life that mattered. And behind every lie is a truth waiting to be heard. This story is over. But for too many families, it never ends. If you've watched this far, you already understand. This isn't just a crime story. It's a warning. And warnings only work when they're shared. Share this video. Not for the views. For the person in your life who's struggling right now, searching for a way forward, and might not recognize a trap when it's dressed up as an opportunity. If you or someone you know has received an offer that feels too good, too easy, too perfectly timed, pause. Verify. Tell someone. Because the people behind these lies count on silence. So, let's take that away from them. Subscribe if you believe stories like this deserve to be heard. Leave a comment below. I read every one. And if this moved you, drop a like so this reaches someone who needs it. Until next time, stay aware, stay safe, and never stop asking questions.